That was Travis Kalanick, but according to news that we're just picking up from our sources, and it's breaking here, Nusli Wadia has filed a defamation case against Tata Sons for 3,000 crore rupees. That's the information we're picking up. The defamation case has been filed in the Bombay High Court, and the matter may be taken up as early as Monday. That we don't have a confirmation on, but we have a confirmation on the fact that he's filed a defamation case against the Tatas for 3,000 crore rupees. Remember, we've been reporting this, how 2 weeks ago he did rope in his legal advisor, Mr. Fali Nariman, in fact, Mr. Nariman and Nusli Wadia have been sort of together, and Mr. Nariman has represented Nusli Wadia on many high-profile cases, even during the tempestuous period in Mr. Wadia's life during the 1980s. Mr. Nariman has been there with him, and now clearly the defamation notice has been served. This is interesting because what my sources are telling me is that Mr. Nusli Wadia was waiting for a long time, for a Tata response. Remember, the last letter that Mr. Wadia had written to the Tatas had not responded to that last communication from Mr. Wadia's side. In fact, which is where the tone and tenor of that letter was far more strong than his previous two communications. They waited for a long time for the Tatas to respond to that last communication, but there was no response, and now Nusli Wadia has gone and filed the defamation notice. Sources are telling me that this defamation notice was filed earlier this evening. We'll try and get some reactions on that story. This is a big development. We've been saying this, that the legal fight will not be between Cyrus Mistry and the Tatas, because Cyrus Mistry's team has ruled out any sort of legal sort of fight, and they will not take the legal route. We've been saying that the legal fight will be between Nusli Wadia and Ratan Tata.
Ron,
you want to comment on that?
Yeah, Ron, I mean, you've really been following this story. I just want to make a small, tiny submission here before I ask you what I want to ask you. We must remember that there are proceedings underway in the Bombay High Court already. There's a group of independent shareholders, retail shareholders, that have filed a class action lawsuit. And I believe that recent developments, as early as I think yesterday or today, the court has allowed both Mr. Nusli Wadia as well as Tata Sons to be made a party to this class action lawsuit, and essentially it will deal with some of these matters, for instance, removal of independent directors, removal of chairman, Mr. Cyrus Mistry as chairman of Tata Sons itself. But let me ask you to quickly recap, Ron, some of the very scathing commentary that we've got from Mr. Nusli Wadia in the past. He's been questioning a lot of decisions, including the Nano itself, right? So just if you quickly recap some of the highlights.
Well, not just the Nano, because he'd even written a letter to SEBI, remember, market regulator SEBI, actually making charges against possible insider trading. But let's get an expert voice on this. Suhas Tuljapulkar, who has been with us on this story since the 24th of October. But I think before we go to Suhas, I think Hitesh Jain is also with us. Hitesh, now the latest twist, not really a twist, many would have expected it. Nusli Wadia has gone and filed a defamation notice against the Tatas for 3,000 crore rupees. Your first quick reaction, Hitesh?
Well, I mean, amidst the media war, what is happening is that it is very clear that Cyrus Mistry is not picking up the battle with Tatas. So, one thing was very apparent, that Nusli Wadia was supporting Cyrus Mistry. So instead of Cyrus Mistry coming out, it is Nusli Wadia who is taking up the battles to Tata. But if you will notice, defamation suit, frankly speaking, has a history in India, and rarely the suits have been taken to the logical conclusion. They are more so filed, I mean, the amount of 3,000 crore claim itself, with court fees as meagerly as 3 lakhs rupees, for maximum court fees being 3 lakhs rupees. So people do file this just to prove a symbolic point. That the symbolic number 3,000 crore is large enough, but there is hardly a history of such amount being awarded by the court and the suits being gone to the logical conclusion. So it's a message that is being sent out to Tatas that if you will try to remove us from the board or try to take steps, then that we will not be taking it lying down, and we will battle the same. So it's
Right, Hitesh. I mean, sorry for interrupting, but can Mr. Wadia really make a case out of this? Because many would say, the Tatas eventually, Tata Sons is the principal shareholder, and and they are perhaps well within their rights to remove somebody from the board, even though he was appointed for a period of 5 years. And while we may quibble at the manner in which Cyrus was removed and the manner in which Mr. Wadia is being sort of at least the efforts that are being made to remove him, but principally, at least some of the reasoning that that the Tatas have given, like for instance how Mr. Wadia may have actually coerced, galvanized support of some of the independent directors. Do you think that when you hear these charges that are being made by Mr. Wadia against the Tatas, your first reaction, I mean, do you think that these charges can really stick, Hitesh?
Well, 2 points. This is more, this filing of suit is more of an act of filibustering. Second, in all the under the Companies Act, when you want to remove a person as a director, you have to give a show cause notice, in which you have to give the material that the company has. Now, if the show cause notice, the company places the material, and if person claims that that is a defamation, then this is really stretching over the line. I mean, at the end of the day, the purpose of show cause notice is to give an opportunity to the person concerned to come and place his facts before the company, so an informed decision can be taken place. But by threatening, defamation is something like it has a chilling effect. So by threatening to file a defamation suit, and in fact, indeed filing a defamation suit, they're trying to browbeat. But I guess, people realize the value of such suits. And over a period, you will realize, like what will be the outcome of the suit. It doesn't require any comment. So it's a symbolic suit. The number 3,000 crore is also a symbolic suit. They just want to make a point. People in India, a common man on the street doesn't know. He just thinks about the large number of 3,000 crore as a number. So according to me, this is a symbolic action, which is not really, it's one of the side battle which has been put in the front before the main battle begins between Mistries and Tata.
You're saying it's symbolic, but when you look at this number 3,000 crore, it's also a really, really big sum. Do any similar cases come to your mind, Hitesh, where where damages to this extent have been asked for by by the person who's actually going and filing these charges?
Well, damages, people in India keep on asking for any amount, because as I mentioned to you, the court fees is merely 3 lakhs. The question that should be asked is, has the courts in the past awarded even more than 100 crore in any given case? The only given case where damages were awarded, that was against one of the news channel when they had wrongly published the picture of the Supreme Court judge. Bearing that, the history, there will be handful of defamation suits where the court would have awarded anywhere between 2 crore and 5 crore also as a damage. You can really, one will have to really research to find. But I can tell you that even in between 2 crore and 5 crore damages, there will be like a handful of cases in which such sum of damages are awarded. So, you can claim any amount. The question that has to be asked is, has the courts in how many matters the courts have awarded even above 5 crore any damages?
Hitesh, got your point. Hi, Surabhi here. You mentioned that this is probably some sort of a precursor towards the battle really moving between the two sides, Mistry versus Tata. If you could explain to us how you see the legal battle playing out from now, because, we already have this class action lawsuit that's been filed in the Bombay High Court, and I believe Mr. Wadia as well as Tata Sons are being made a party in this case. How do you expect the legal battle to unfold from now?
Let us see who are the real parties to the dispute. It is Mistries and Tatas. Now, Tatas took the step of removing Mistry from the chairman. They are calling EGM after EGM in the group company and removing Cyrus Mistry over there. What has happened? Has Mistry challenged his chairmanship? No. Has Mistry challenged his removal of directorship? No. What have you seen? Effectively, what you have seen is some minority shareholders that are being put up who are saying that the value of the shareholder is being eroded by taking such actions of removal. Then you have Nusli Wadia, who was one of the directors, to whom the show cause notice has been served. He is coming ahead. So the major aggrieved party, Cyrus Mistry, he is sitting in the background, and you are seeing the side actors coming and putting up the show. So idea is that, this is like what we call is a testing water to test what is the outcome. And then the main player comes, because as it is, Cyrus Mistry could not do anything when he was removed as a chairman, when he was removed as a director. Now, for him, if he comes directly to the court and if he does not get any relief, it is an end game. So how do you prolong and protract the battle? There is no, the fact is both the sides are fighting. And there's this thing. So idea is you put the side actors in the front and then try and see what is the result you achieve. And then on that basis, the major actors will see if and when to bring any legal proceedings.
Right, fair enough, Hitesh. In fact, this might be symbolic, but it's clearly a very significant symbolic move there by Nusli Wadia filing defamation charges against Tata Sons. My sources telling me that it's been filed against Tata Sons, and he has also mentioned Ratan Tata in his defamation suit and some of the other Tata Sons directors. But Hitesh, thank you very much for joining us and giving us your take on this development. You heard it first right here.